Welcome to Sound and Fury. I am Eric Wilfred Watson.
Hello there. I'm Hugh Frank.
Today we're going to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, it's our only hope.
So, I don't really give too much of a crap about Star Wars. I kind of like the original trilogy. Like most of the movies, more or less. The Mandalorian was pretty good, but I'm a Star Trek fan at heart. But I did watch the trailer. And you are much more invested in Star Wars than I.
I am, even though the sequel trilogy sucked and Star Wars is basically dead to me. I appreciate that Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out, and I think it could actually be good. So I have some predictions.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about it.
Shall we begin?
So let's start with what won't happen in this show.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the problems with a prequel is you have your classic prequel. Obi-Wan is not going to die.
Unlikely.
Darth Vader is not going to die.
Unlikely.
The Inquisitors that show up in Star Wars Rebels later on are not.
No one expects the
going to
Inquisitors.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Ooh. Nobody expects the Sith Inquisition. Ooh, I like that. I'm going somewhere with that. That's gonna be also, what we're not going to see, I'm predicting, is Broom Kid.
Oh, from The Last Jedi.
The Lost Jedi. Yep. What the fuck is up with Broom Kid? Anyway, we're not going to see it in the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing because he'd be like minus 37 years old.
Well, yeah, the fact that he doesn't exist yet is one valid reason not to have him in the show.
Yes. Sir, the appropriately named Sir, not appearing in this film.
You probably won't see Captain Kirk, I'm guessing.
Nope.
That's highly unlikely.
Well, no, that's true. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So we know what won't happen.
Yes.
What do you think will happen? Do you think Obi-Wan Kenobi will go by Obi-Wan, since Obi-Wan hasn't gone by Obi-Wan since Obi before you were born? Which I always love that line. It's almost like Alec Guinness was making a joke. Oh, I haven't gone by Obi-Wan since Obi before you were born.
I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since before you were born.
I don't know if that was on purpose.
You're not even a dad, Obi-Wan. You can't tell dad jokes. But, yeah.
I have the silliest name in the galaxy.
What I'm hoping is that we'll add that to the won't happen. I don't want to see a Han Solo naming type scene where he gets named by like an Imperial officer or something. I hope that he just...
Kenobi, where you been?
Yeah. God.
I haven't seen you in so long.
If it is explained why he starts going by Ben, it should be the obvious explanation, which is he just needs to pick a different name. Now, if Aquafina happens to be with him and makes fun of him, you turned Sean to Sean and thought they weren't going to find you?
You changed your name from Shang to Sean?
Yeah, I don't.
I wonder how your father found you.
You're on his birth planet, spying on his only living relative.
Right.
How do you hiding is not what you are good at.
Actually, it is. Well, but it wouldn't be if he's Anyway, yeah.
I fear you're underestimating the sneakiness, sir.
So,
and apparently he succeeds because he manages to age 40 years and 18.
Yes, there's some cool memes like that. They say that drastic amounts of stress ages you rapidly, and it's young Obi-Wan, and then Anakin's saying, "I'm married to Padme, and she's pregnant with my Jedi twins," and then it's the Sir Alec Guinness version.
Well, some people can go gray pretty quick. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. So hopefully it's not going to be some hokey, stupid reason that he becomes Ben. Hopefully it's just kind of the organic, like, hey, I need a different name. Maybe he doesn't...
Maybe he goes through a few iterations of that on his way.
Yeah, or maybe he just goes by Ben.
Ewan McGregor. I mean, Obi-Wan. I mean, Ben.
Exactly. Yeah, so... And maybe not even Kenobi at first, and then eventually they tack on. Maybe Owen Lars calls him...
Maybe he dyes his beard white so nobody recognizes him.
That could be. Yeah. That could be some... Maybe he wasn't really that old. So what I am predicting is there's, of course, going to be an epic showdown.
Oh, you know what I hope they don't do?
What's that?
I hope they don't do like a Palpatine thing. Obi-Wan's using the Force so hard that he turns his hair white. That's something
That
dumb
would
enough.
suck.
They could do that. That would be almost dumb enough for them to do.
I'm going to add that to my list. White hair suck thing. I hope they don't do the white hair suck thing, because that's. No. I mean, it kind of worked for Palpatine. They needed a way to explain, but if they do it again, I don't like it. I would even take time travel over that. Like he jumps forward and back or whatever, and he's older because time travel. And it's
although Ewan McGregor has aged about the appropriate amount of time since the sequels until now, so that works out pretty well.
It's been about the same, So one of the predictions, and of course they've actually talked about this. This isn't so much of a prediction, but there's going to be this epic showdown with Vader and Obi-Wan, and so it's part 2, which we didn't really expect to ever see a part 2. But if you think about it, there are lines in the original trilogy that hint to a showdown that weren't actually in the original Mustafar showdown. So,
well, it hasn't been canon when the last time Obi-Wan and Vader spoke, because you just get Vader going, "It's a present I haven't felt since ... walks away.
Right.
A presence I've not felt since.
Since when? Last
yeah.
Thursday at the grocery store?
No, since the 27th when the Obi-Wan Kenobi came out. Yeah. So there are some canon explanations as to. So first of all, in A New Hope, when Vader says, "When I left you, I was but the learner; now I am the master." When originally they had their first duel on Mustafar, he did not feel like a learner. He was, don't underestimate my power. He thought he was the most powerful being in the galaxy.
But now he's a learner under Palpatine.
Now he's a learner under Palpatine, and I think he's learning the ways, like, he's got this metallic body, and who knows, like, even if you go to the freaking metachlorian stuff, he's got less blood in his body because he's part machine, twisted and evil, etc. So maybe he's got to reattach himself to the Force kind of thing, and so he is learning to become more evil.
A Sith Master.
To become a Sith Master, yeah. And there's actually there's a game for the Oculus which is called like Vader Unleashed or something like that.
What is an Oculus?
That's a VR system. That's the formerly Facebook, now Meta.
The thing I don't care about. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think it's cool. But you actually get to play a character who meets with Darth Vader. It is actually canon. They've actually infused elements into the movies, which I can explain in a moment. But
please do.
So you go to Mustafar, and it's really cool because it's VR. So you're afraid you're going to fall into this freaking lava.
Yeah. They're originally going to go to Sordanir, but
but then you go to Mustafar. So you end up doing some stuff and healing the planet. Well, like 20-some years later, when you get to the Rise of Skywalker, what's his name there? Kylo Ren is searching for Palpatine, and he's on Mustafar again, and there's like trees and stuff. And those trees are growing because of what you did as a character in game. So it's kind of neat. You get to change the Star Wars universe in this game. Highly recommend it. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Star Wars Arbor Day on sale now.
Exactly. So, what the frick was my? Oh, so he was trying to muster up enough
Mustafar.
Mustafar. He was trying to muster up enough dark side energy to speak with Padme, and so he was still kind of a student then. So when we meet Darth Vader in this version, it's going to be roughly 9 years before they have their last meeting, and he's still kind of trying to build his power base back up.
My hope is that my hope is that the people that made the show thought more about it than you did making your notes for this show.
I hope so.
But I'm not optimistic that is the case.
Yeah, that is my only hope. Well, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Help me, Ooby-Doop-a-Nooby. Ooby-Doop, Ooby-Doop, Ooby-Dooby-Dooby.
Also, in Return of the Jedi, when Obi-Wan Kenobi talks about Darth Vader being more machine now than man, twisted and evil. It's possible that he's just doing force visions and spying and seeing what Anakin looks like and stuff from a distance. But it's more likely like he met him as a machine. Mm-hmm. And then later on, Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. You don't know the power of the dark side. I must obey my master. So at some point, there is some dialogue, and I'm hoping it's not, well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. I'm hoping there's some really good
I have more
dialogue.
midi-chlorians than you.
Exactly. Exactly. Snape killed Dumbledore. Which I think really happened. But anyway, so that's more of my hope than my prediction, is that they honor the canon and give you glimpses into why would Obi-Wan Kenobi say later on to Luke as a ghost these following things, and why would Vader say this. And also, going back to the original Star Wars, things were still being kind of hashed out. So what Obi-Wan Kenobi says, only a master of evil, Darth. Mm-hmm. Darth is not his name. It's his title. But the way he says it with this venom, you can almost retcon it to be basically...
he doesn't like that title very much.
He doesn't like that title.
Won't use his name because he doesn't consider him that person anymore.
Right. And I think Darth Vader is going to get very angry and possibly more powerful because of that anger, just because Obi-Wan calls him Darth. And now... Yeah.
He might get emotional and all choked up.
Oh, God. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations. But then that, if you think about it, and hopefully the folks that are writing this thought about it too,
at least a little.
Obi-Wan is there to die. He is there to get killed by Darth Vader in A New Hope. And so if you think about when he calls him Anakin, like a long time ago, and that triggers this anger, now he's just going to mock him and call him Darth, and it's going to be like, and I'm going to kill you. So just so that he can die.
Do you think you're going to see Order 66 stuff come into play in this show? Are there going to be Jedi? I mean, they in episode 3, they sent the message like any remaining Jedi must stay away. Are there still some remaining Jedi out there that Order 66 hasn't gotten to? Because they have the Inquisitors, they're searching for Obi-Wan apparently, but do you think that, is that how are they bringing Ahsoka Tano into this show because she's a Force user that way?
It'll be interesting. Vader is actively seeking Ahsoka Tano as of the last episode of Clone Wars. And it's possible. I know they're being...
Of course, they only have 6 episodes to do. I mean, if they had a whole 10, 12 episodes, but hopefully they don't. Hopefully, they don't try to shove too much shit into the 6 episodes to make it feel, over. I hope it's a 6-episode long story.
Yeah.
I don't want 2 episodes stretched out into something longer, and I don't want 12 episodes worth of shit condensed. I hope the pacing is good.
Right. Yep.
And if they don't do some stuff just for the sake of time, as long as the story works. I mean, Moon Knight was all over the damn place. Oh. I'm hoping for a more consistent story. Yeah. Watch our riveting review on Moon Knight.
Rivet. Yeah. So there's that. Another prediction, I think at the end of this, Obi-Wan will have to have faked his death. Otherwise, to stop the search from continuing. The twist I'm going to throw in there, and also, of course, he has to throw the Inquisitors off track, too. So Darth Vader and the Inquisitors basically have to stop looking for him. So he's going to start by kind of turning off the Force. I think that's kind of where he is. He's just trying to live as a normal non-Force user. They did demonstrate in The Lost Jedi that a Jedi can just turn off the Force at will. But this is my off-the-wall prediction. Mace Windu himself is going to come back, and he's going to end up sacrificing himself to throw everybody off track. It's going to be that, at least for the Inquisitors, that it was Mace Windu all along.
There's Mace Windu all along.
And the Inquisitors and Vader are in competition with each other, and Vader has to, of course, watch his back. So I think he's going to have to let go of Obi-Wan because he can't show any weakness in front of the Inquisitors, or otherwise they'll bring that to the Emperor. So he's going to have to give up his search for Obi-Wan.
Do you think Mace Windu will show up, the real Mace Windu, or do you think it'll be a Skrull?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely one of those things. There's only two possibilities. Either the real Mace Windu will or won't show up.
Yeah, that is true.
No.
Or his Force Ghost.
So yeah, that's yeah. So that's all I've got. I think.
Any guesses on what the actual story is going to be? Like, what's Obi-Wan's goal in this? You think?
I think he's leading folks away. He's leading the Inquisitors away from Luke. He's obviously going to have some words with Owen. And I do like from the trailer where he must be trained. I was like, you mean like you trained his father?
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
Damn!
And then Obi-Wan says, yeah, for a guy whose fate is to burn to death, he had a sick burn.
Oh!
Damn!
Yeah. No, that was a stab right in the heart. That was just.
It was good dialogue, and if that's a snippet of what the show's going to be, hey, I'm happy.
It's all true.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I've said this for a really long time that Obi-Wan was the best part of the prequels. He was the most fleshed out character in the whole prequel trilogy, and he just exudes charisma. That actor is charisma, and he's the casting was phenomenal. Even before the beard, he had the little silly braid thing in episode 1.
Then he had Jedi mullet in the second one.
Still was a believable young Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
The voice is perfect. I mean, granted, they're both English, but just his mannerisms are perfect. You almost don't even think of him as a separate actor. He's just character is him. And acting. I'm all in. I just hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I predicted it won't. I think
I'm
it's
optimistic.
actually going
I'm cautiously
to be good.
optimistic.
Yeah, and I think this is a good shot for Hayden Christensen to kind of be redeemed a little bit, which is ironic because it's kind of the reverse arc of Darth Vader, because this is where Darth Vader fully commits to the dark side, and Hayden Christensen I think will be redeemed. He's a good actor. Acting. He really is. If you watch,
he just had some difficult things to work with.
He had some. Yeah, that dialogue is terrible. And if you think about it,
saying dumb things in front of a green screen.
Yeah, and Natalie Portman's career recovered. And she's one of the greatest actresses ever, but her acting was horrible in this movie. I mean,
not her fault, I don't think.
It was not her fault. She was directed to be horrible.
The dialogue that George Lucas is great at coming up with the story, but I don't think he should have been the only writer.
Well, dialogue between men and women, he doesn't know how to talk to women.
Yeah. He doesn't know how humans talk to each other.
He does not. And that's why Empire Strikes Back, the smartest thing George Lucas did is said, I can't direct this. It's a love story. I need Irvin Kershner. Mm-hmm. And that changed everything. So I think
it'll be good. Yeah. If it sucks, we'll come back here and lament it's sucking, or we'll come back here and say, "Yay, we were right. It was good." But if you want to see either one of those videos, you will have to hit the subscribe button.
Yes.
Because if you don't hit the subscribe button,
a cat will die. No.
And the midichlorian will cease to exist, and the Force will weaken.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, the Force weakens.
And don't forget that on ericwilfordwatson.com, you can read the first 3 chapters of my book, Judas Kissed, for free. And this is a shameless plug because I have turned to the dark side a long time ago.
But we have cookies.